Greetings and salutations. They say writers are like gremlins. You shouldn't wait to feed them until midnight. A hungry writer only creates bad ideas, and those bad ideas have a way of multiplying. Here at Writer's Bagel Basket, we dive headfirst into the good, the bad, and the... well, at least they tried. What can we say? A good bagel has a lot of variety. Every month, we have a different theme. Themes like Baby Don't Hurt Me Month. We are kicking off Garden Variety Shocktober. We are in Not Your Average Saturday Morning. Then me and a guest curate the movies or TV episodes that fit that particular theme. One kid said Augustus Gloop's mom.
No way.
What?
The only people who were actually a couple at the time in the realm of Saved by the Bell was Jesse and Slater.
Yes.
They're on vacation together.
Yes, they are.
They're banging, right?
Obviously.
Yeah, right?
Obviously.
Yeah. Join me, Scott Curlin. Strap in and grab yourself a bagel. Nope, not that one. That's my bagel. You'll join us in the basket, the Writer's Bagel Basket.
Bravo.
Not so bad. Not so bad.
Not so bad. As Dido once said, I almost said Sade. That's wrong.
Wait, Dido had a song that was called Not So Bad?
That song she had, Thank You, that got sampled by
Eminem.
Eminem.
Yeah.
By Eminem for Stan. By Eminem. That's a Dido song.
Poor Dido. She didn't deserve that.
But yeah, at the end of the song, she goes, "Not so bad, right? Pretty good song, huh?" Huh? Huh? I don't remember that line in the song at all. What are you talking about?
She just walked out of the studio going like, "Ha ha! I did it! Finger guns, finger guns, finger guns."
Hey, not too shabby. Not too shabby. Maybe next time we try it a little snappier, but that's pretty good, guys. You know what? Let's take 5.
There won't be a next time. I'm Dido. Ha ha! Finger guns, finger guns.
But that, yeah, just at the end of that, it really sounded like she was like part of Letterkenny at some point. It's like, oh, how you doing? Oh, not so bad. It's like, jeez.
Yeah, I don't remember any of this. Perhaps I need to give this another listen. There's a lot of mystery.
Yeah, we missed a lot of nuance.
Clearly.
Oh boy! Welcome to Jukebox Zeros, where your idols come to die. I'm Lils.
Oh, and I'm Patrick. We're recording. We're live. We're doing this. We're on tape.
I mean, technically, we're not live. If that'd be weird.
I know, right?
If every single podcast iteration of this someone adds to their phone or to their device was just live, that would I don't know how you'd make that work. I don't know if we have the technology yet.
Well, we have to recreate the show every single time someone hits play from their iTunes. We just have to. Here we go again. Got to sell the same.
This is why we need a transcriptionist, Pat.
Yeah. No, it gets hard to remember all of the goodies. We do our best, though. Something about Dunkaroos at this point. I don't know.
Speaking of running jokes that were running into the ground, I am very much a fan of how in the past couple of episodes we have very slowly been positioning perennial asshole Mike Love of the Beach Boys as some kind of arch nemesis to this podcast.
Oh,
yeah. Just for no conceivable reason, really.
Well, I mean, other than that, it's completely plausible that he would be a foe to this podcast.
I mean, why not? If you're gonna have an arch nemesis, I would say, a complete douchebag like Mike Love is probably a good place to start.
Well, it's like our whole métier is like, I don't know, just the foibles of mediocrity, right? And he is like the king of mediocrity, and it's like a very important, very important field to him. the field of mediocrity. He didn't like that I made fun of Kokomo. And that's the number one song.
Yeah, dude, we're still getting hate mail for that. We're still getting flaming bags of poo on our respective porches.
Yeah, mine show up in like little coconut shells. Cute, right?
How befitting. How befitting Mike Love.
That's what it does.
We should introduce our guest, just so we're not... I mean, obviously there's going to be yammering in any Jukebox Zeros episode, but let's try to keep the yammering to a minimal as we introduce our guest, a streamer, an author, an industrial musicman, Danesha Artis.
Hello.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, I was enjoying like the nice little lead-in and slander on Mike Love. I mean, it needs to happen more.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Absolutely. It's like we're not doing enough as a people to, rein in history's greatest monster. I mean, at one point, I still think it's Joel Schumacher, but there can be room at the top.
Funny you mentioned Joel Schumacher. Is that a tie-in?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. We're doing the new Phantom of the Opera. By new, I mean 2005. No. We're not doing that one.
Oh, God. He did direct a Phantom of the Opera movie, didn't he?
With Gerard Butler and Emmy Rossum.
Why do you have that knowledge on deck? What? I barely remember that.
I kind of like it. It's not the worst Phantom of the Opera I've seen.
Oh, boy. I have a hard time believing any Andrew Lloyd Webber is the least bad of anything.
Yeah, same.
You don't like Cats 2019?
I mean, I watched it for a one-off podcast with friend of the podcast, Heather Mack, and it didn't go great.
No, I know.
No, that's when the timeline started going sideways, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not a good movie. It's not very good.
It didn't look it.
It's not good
I might go
source
far to
material,
say
be
this.
honest.
I might go far to say this is not a movie, because so much of it just seemed to be like reminiscent of like graphics card demonstrations, or like weird Sony hardware demonstrations from E3.
It was a YouTube compilation of sorts.
It's like the old school like Xbox demo games that you would get. It's like
Right.
It's like, hey, this looks this is gonna be what you're gonna get in like the upcoming things. Like, no.
Right.
I'm not excited. Why would you do this to me?
Exactly. The moment I turned that on, I just thought to myself, wow, humongous Drake of the 99 Dragons vibes.
Yeah.
No one? Okay.
That sounds familiar, but why does that hurt me?
It was a really, really shitty platformer that had Bruce Dickinson as the main character, unfortunately.
Oh, dear God.
It was Bruce Dickinson voicing the main character, and it was produced, like, the artistic director was Bruce Timm from the Batman cartoons, which is also not great, not great on his resume.
No.
Speaking of Batman...
Here's the apology section.
Yes.
If I disappointed them in any way, then I really want to apologize, because it wasn't my intention. My intention was just to entertain them.
Got anything you want to apologize for this time around, Pat?
I have an 11th hour apology. I'm sorry I just jumped in and introduced the section. I don't think I've ever done that in the history of this show.
I don't know. Sometimes it's good to mix it up sometimes, Pat.
Well, it just seemed appropriate.
I accept your apology, but nor do I begrudge you for having done so in the first place.
I did it.
Go with God and let your conscience be clean.
Okay.
Of the apology section.
I feel free. I feel absolved. I feel atoned, and I also just want to apologize for Batman in general. He seems like a guy who's always feeling sorry for himself.
Yeah, he's a bit of a moper.
A lot can be solved with therapy.
Costume.
He has all that money and still won't go to therapy.
Right. You can afford the best of the best.
He almost quit in Mask of the Phantasm. Like when I was looking up a clip to use for this this episode's apology section, I found a Mask of the Phantasm clip where he's just like having a sad day talking to his parents' gravestone is just like because he's having like a crisis of conscience about whether he wants to still be Batman, and he's just like, I'll put more money into the city, and I'm just sitting there like, yes, yeah, that's a thing you should do, Batman.
Right. Stop beating up
Share-
people over a nickel bag of weed. Stop that.
Share your wealth around.
That's all the Joker's doing. He's just slinging like little nickel bags of swag. Guy's just trying to make a living. Come on.
Bat workers of the world, Bat Night. I'm not sure what that was.
No, I saw where it was going, but yeah.
Willis, what
So
about you? Do you need to apologize?
Yeah, I don't. The only thing I have to apologize for is I'm sorry that we're normal now.
Oh yeah, we never
I'm
said
not.
that.
I'm not sorry for us being normal. I'm sorry if you're upset that we're normal now, because we're normal now.
Who would ever be upset about that? That's the majority of our listeners, right? Are completely normal, potato eating Americans of sorts.
I mean, I know who might be upset. The Batman segue. Let's get into talking about the album that we're going to be doing,
Batman.
shall we?
That's the Batman song, right?
So,
Yeah. Jesus.
Puma Man.
So, you are made of earth, Puma Man. We're still on a Donald Pleasance kick from the last episode we did on Sgt. Pepper, the 78 film.
No, I don't think he ever was a Batman. Not even in like the '60s series. He should have been. Not a Batman, but like one of the villains. Like, I don't know, Chunky.
Chunky.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Chunky.
Chunky Stew, the old Batman villain. You know the one.
No.
So he's smelling like meat and terrorizing the streets.
Yeah, smelling like Campbell's soup.
Slow-cooked stench.
I am unfamiliar with that particular Rogues Gallery resident.
He'll be just as threatening as Calendar Man.
Fair enough. So, Batman Forever was the third installment of the original Batman film franchise series, based on the famed DC comic book. Coming hot on the heels of 1992's acclaimed Batman Returns, previously directed by Tim Burton, this latest installment would be held by Joel Schumacher, who pivoted away from Burton's dark dystopian aesthetic and took inspiration from the lighter-hearted 1960s TV show. It featured an ensemble cast featuring Val Kilmer as the titular Batman, as well as Tommy Lee Jones, Jim Carrey, Nicole Kidman, and Chris O'Donnell. Though a commercial success upon its release, it received a mixed response from critics who weren't fans of the abrupt shift in mood. A shift that would become all the more prominent in its sequel, the reviled 1997 film Batman and Robin. And now we're going to watch it, this movie, right now, on this music podcast.
No, we're not.
No,
we did that
of course
last
not.
time. We did that last time. We already did a movie
No,
last time.
we wouldn't do that 2 episodes in a row. Besides, Batman Forever isn't a musical film like the last thing we talked about. But we are here to talk about its soundtrack. Released in 1995 along with the movie and produced by RZA of Wu-Tang Clan, the Batman Forever soundtrack was cultivated with a distinctly pop sensibility in mind, perhaps harkening back to Prince's mega-selling soundtrack to the 1989 Batman film. Its track list was a real who's who of 90s artists, including The Offspring, Brandy, PJ Harvey, Method Man, and Mazzy Star, among many others. Reviews of the record were middling at best and continued to be middling retrospectively decades later, but the OST was a major commercial hit, reaching number 5 on the Billboard 200 sales charts upon release, and would gradually reach multi-platinum sales. Is this a particularly infamous record? Probably not. In fact, it contains 2 particular songs that were not just major commercial hits in their time, but have gone on to be particularly beloved classics of 90s pop music. Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me by U2, and Kiss from a Rose by Seal, which by any measure is easily the greatest pop song of all time, and you can't convince me otherwise. So, the fact that these 2 major players of pop culture are attached to what, from the outset, looks like a rather unimpressive soundtrack, for that matter a soundtrack to a film that is now considered something of a major failure of cinema, is in and of itself a novel thing worthy of further investigation. Or at least that's the explanation we're going with. Anywho, we're listening to the Batman Forever soundtrack today.
Yeah.
Batman.
And that's the real song. The
Right.
other
So-
one was a joke. The before one.
Right.
So before I start digging into the tracks, do either of you guys have a particular like movie soundtrack that you hold particularly beloved? It doesn't necessarily have to be the Batman Forever soundtrack, but I feel like this talk of soundtrack really does tend to bring that sort of thing up.
Do you want to go first? Because I got one like immediately at the top of my head.
No, go for it.
Okay. Okay. Going in the vein of fantastic soundtracks, but absolutely horrendous movies, the Godzilla soundtrack, the one that Matthew Broderick was involved in.
That's
That-
a good one.
Yeah, the soundtrack is absolutely like fantastic, especially Green Day's orchestral reworking of Brain Stew. That was actually one of the first pop songs I actually tried to learn on violin. Same thing with, oddly enough,
Oh, cool.
Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me.
Wow.
The other song that I love, but there's the disconnect is something that I love more about it, is Rage Against the Machine actually doing a song for that and calling out like the whole like corporate thing, but it's like, but you still did. All right, you know what, Zach, get your money. I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Great tune.
No Shel-
Anyway, who cares?
Yeah,
There's
if
no
you really
shelter.
look, yeah, if you really look at the lyrics to No Shelter, it really does seem more and more like it's a song about what the fuck are we doing here on the Godzilla soundtrack. more than
Right,
anything.
which that's why I said it's like I love that, but it's like, you know what, that check must have been right for Zach. It's like, all right, cool. And then there's Jamiroquai on there. It's like
Oh yeah.
the song Deeper Underground, which that was good too. And I know
Can't
there's
go
a
wrong
Robert,
with can't go wrong with some Jamiroquai in the 90s.
I know there's like a Robert Plant song, but that's clearly escaping me. But yeah, that's
Oh, P. Diddy
What?
and Robert, not Robert
Oh,
Plant.
yeah,
Jimmy
Jimmy
Page.
Page.
Jimmy Page. Yeah, okay, yeah, that. Oh God, I immediately, it's like as soon as you mentioned that, I remember like what it sounds like. And damn, I'm gonna have to listen to that later.
It was it was like a not a cover, but like a reinterpolation of Kashmir or something like that, or it was him playing the Kashmir riff
Oh yeah.
while P. Diddy did some bars over it or something.
He did something. What he's doing these days, don't know, don't care. Nah.
I have one. I don't know if it counts necessarily because the film was received badly in its time, but I feel like now it's kind of considered a big cult classic and so bad it's good sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Hackers soundtrack was absolutely enormous to like my electronic music loving facets. And it had like so many like heavy hitters, like it had Underworld, Left Field, The Prodigy,
Oh God, yeah, that's
Orbital, Carl Cox. Just so many just heavy hitters just on one soundtrack.
Yeah,
And
ooh.
it ended up being so good, they made a couple of sequels to that soundtrack with other... And, like, I mean, they were also really good, but that first one just hit the hardest as far as I'm concerned. Oh, it has Connected by Stereo MCs on there. I mean, holy shit.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, that was a big one.
Oh yeah, I forgot. They also had was it Cowgirl by Underworld on there too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. Jeez.
All certified bops. How about you, Pat?
Cool. I guess like within the realm of because these like 90s soundtracks, the 90s OSTs were kind of like their own thing, I think, because they didn't really do the I don't know, like they weren't like of this caliber in the 80s. I don't think. This was definitely like a feature of the 90s, right?
What exactly do you mean by
like
that?
like people were like they would get a bunch of who's and like, you know, each one of them contributes a brand new song or something like that. Whereas before, I think, you know, like maybe they would get some people to do new songs, but otherwise, you know, might have been people contributing B-sides or something like that. It was like less thought out. Anyway, where's that
Maybe.
going
I
with
feel
that?
I feel like the 80s was also a big time for just single artists and bands to just do the entire soundtrack.
All right, yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Because you would get film soundtracks where like it's made up entirely of like Oingo Boingo songs or that sort of stuff.
Yeah, or The Beach Boy.
Or the aforementioned 1989 Batman film soundtrack by Prince.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yep.
exactly. I mean, there's a few that I don't know, like any that were, pivotal to me, but some that I really enjoyed were like the first Crow soundtrack, the one that had like was it Darkness by Rage Against the Machine on it. Had
Burn by The Cure.
Yeah, Big Empty from Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's and like Pantera and Helmet were on there too. So there's like just some good like 90s grungy type stuff on there. And then Last Action Hero was kind of along the same lines, although like maybe a little more in the like metal direction or something like that. There's a
Right, I
song
remember
from
that soundtrack.
Megadeth. There was two great songs from Alice in Chains, actually. What the Hell Have I and A Little Bitter, which are like two like favorite songs of theirs of mine. And then I forget who else was. I think like Queensryche is on there too. Our old pal Jeff Tate, doing his thing.
Sorry, I just like looked off to the side. It's like I had no idea that there was actually like a Buckethead song on there too.
Yeah.
No way, there's a Buckethead song on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, early.
That's crazy.
one for him.
I would have thought Buckethead didn't like come to prominence until like much later in the 90s.
Look,
I guess
surprises all around.
Yeah, it's an early one for
there
him,
it
I
is.
think.
Jack the Ripper by Buckethead with the Los Angeles Rock and Roll Ensemble and Michael Kamen.
Oh yeah,
who
Michael
is-
Kamen, who does all the did all the orchestrations for
Holy
the wall.
shit! There's a Fishbone soundtrack. There's a Fishbone song on here too.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cypress Hill.
Amidst all the fucking Def Leppard and Right Said Fred tracks.
yeah, it's bonkers.
And
That's
Tesla.
kind of always the gamble with these soundtracks. There's always like, oh yeah, these are great bands, and then like, oh, what are these
That's
guys
some
doing
wild
here?
sequencing, going from Right Said Fred to Fishbone to Tesla.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's one of those things that always just kind of throws me. It's like I get you want to try to pull in as many people as possible with the promise of like a star-studded film. You want to try to reflect that in the soundtrack though. However, you would have to think it's like, okay, you need to pick people that would reflect how the movie goes, not just like, okay, they're what's hot right now, let's go with that. It's like no, sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah, on top of that, like how many of those songs in the soundtrack actually appear in the movie for that matter?
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like they were being a lot more sort of like faithful to that during the 80s and 90s. And then like probably the aughts forward, there were just like soundtracks where just like one song appears, then the rest are all just inspired by.
Yeah.
Or they shove them in the end credits, or they're like very, very faintly in the background. Like you wouldn't even tell that the song was there unless you were like paying close enough attention.
Yeah, it's like probably do in like a little intermediate scenes, like to kind of like break up the action. It's like, oh, main character's going here,
Right.
And if you really strain your ears, like, oh, I think I know that song. You read at the end, it's like, I knew it. It's like, then why do you? Ugh.
So if you're
It irks me.
the dude from the Devlins per se, I do not remember that song in the movie. Let's make up a name for him. Robert
Devin?
Graham Crackerson.
Robert Graham Crackerson Devlin?
Yeah. Oh, of course, his last name is Devlin. They're all Devlins, aren't they?
Yeah.
So he's sitting in the.
Why wouldn't it be?
He's sitting in the audience, seeing the movie for the first time with his parents. And, like the scene comes and like, all of a sudden it shoots up in audio and you can hear like 1 second of him plucking guitar. He's like, oh, that's my song. Holy shit. That's probably what was exactly what happened, of course. No.
All right.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. No. Okay. Shall
I
we
was
get into
making
the
up
sound?
a tale. You see?
I was all in.
Well, that has become apparent in retrospect.
Yeah, see,
Shall
I
we,
can do that sometimes. No, we can't.
Jesus.
No.
Actually, no.
No. We can't move forward.
Oh no, we should. be
Pat,
sure. Sorry.
Pat, you have to let us move forward, otherwise there's no podcast.
We have to keep this going. This is an eternal show.
We
holding
can't
you
just
all
sit here
hostage.
just talking about fishing. All right.
Fine. Start my own
Yeah,
fishing
good.
podcast. God damn it! Call it fishing with Pat trick, or taking you to school because it's school of fishes.
You could have just said fishing for compliments. That would have worked too.
Yeah, there we go. Because that's really what this is all about. I need validation. Thank you,
Has
Danesha.
this episode
No
just been a
problem.
backdoor? Has this episode just been a backdoor pilot for fishing for compliments this whole time?
Yeah, so tune in to the Zero Science Network, Fishing for Compliments, the new show starring me and Soft Shoe Magoo. He's back to life. I'm gonna kick him up and make him go fishing with me
Pat,
down by the
we
pond.
both know that's not true.
No, he's dead.
Anyway, enough fiddling around. Let's get to the soundtrack. Starting with track number 1, "Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me" by U2, one of the aforementioned beloved 90s pop songs. Okay, so now it's confession time on my part. I did not know this song apart from the Weird Al version about pulling teeth at the dentist office until I was like maybe close to 30.
I mean, what's the better
That's
version?
that's just the version that I always associated with. What was it called? I'm going to look that up real quick.
Off
Look
of Bad Hair Day, right?
Yeah, Bad Hair Day. That was the one that was called Cavity Search. That track off his seminal album.
Oh wow, I
But I feel
never
like-
noticed that little double entendre there. Cavity search.
But yeah, I feel like
Silly man.
I need to go back and re-listen to that because I feel like the arrangements might have been a little different because, like, after going back to listen to this song, this is a very thickly produced song. Like, and I don't think I realized that until, like, these most recent re-listens. I mean, that's not a big surprise considering it's 90s U2 and they were very big on excess. It did throw me for, like, a second.
Good thing nobody can see my face, because as soon as you kept mentioning, like, you mentioned you too, it was like, just, Bono!
Yeah, he is a polarizing figure, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, this was during that period that they were doing all that stuff and the like the drum loops and the synth layering or whatever. And yeah, it sounds like they're working with an orchestra too, or,
Yeah,
or
the
some shit
orchestral-
for the soundtrack.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was,
this
that
would
was
have
a
been
whole
coming-
thing.
Yeah, this would have been coming right after Zooropa. So,
Oh my,
yeah.
yeah. Jeez.
So they were still like stuck in that. Let's do Octung Baby again. It'll like lightning will strike twice this time, and it only kind of did with Zooropa.
Yeah, just, a little Static Shock, but yeah, wasn't it around that time? It's just like a lot of bands were definitely trying to like cash in on doing like the doing like orchestral arrangements and stuff. So in a way, they definitely kind of knew that it would definitely resonate with a certain type of people. It's like, all right, we're gonna do like a fire string arrangement. It's gonna go well with all these drum hits, synth loops. It's like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. That is one of my weaknesses. Yeah, it's one of my weaknesses. But,
I might say like beyond that, maybe there was like some sort of pretense of like if we add an orchestra to this song, that'll make it more cinematic and more like this song is Oscar worthy or whatever. Because now it's seeming more like high art or for whatever that means.
yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that at another point.
Well,
but
what's ironic is when you say cinematic, because this is one of the only ones that I can place a scene to, and it's at the end credits. Like this, I think this is the song that they play like at the beginning of the end credits. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they do it during the movie.
yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, from what I remember, that wasn't a particular thing in the movie. At the end, yeah, yeah, but it wouldn't have fit in any other, you know. It's not like anything really fit in that movie anyway, if we're being honest. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that's still also during the era when they used to have like the music videos that if they were specific to movies or whatever, they would actually splice in shots of the movie. And
Right.
my running joke with people is like, you know what? I think that's where we've kind of gone wrong and stuff like that. It's like we kind of need to bring that back because it feels it would actually kind of like keep some artists kind of honest. Like, look, this is what you're working with. Try to get that tone, but then you have Bono, and Bono's probably like, subtle, that we'll do what we want. It's like, Jesus. So, yeah.
Right.
we were thinking the Batman could be some sort of a fly creature. What? What are you talking about?
Gosh. This would have been that time, wouldn't it? When Bono was doing his little characters and stuff.
Well,
yeah.
maybe not the fly, because that was already on Octung Baby.
The
So I was thinking
fly.
a different type of bug, some sort of I don't know,
The Fly, Mirror Ball Man,
cockroach.
Mephisto.
Yeah.
the Slipper
All those
Man.
beloved
No, that's Peter
characters.
Gabriel.
The music video to this, incidentally, supposedly details the origins of Mephisto. So that's good. That's a thing
What?
people. That's a literary loop people wanted closed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's new to me. What?
Listen, man, can we keep the video to like relevant to the movie? Maybe you're just kind of throwing people off, throwing in your own lore here.
Yeah, that
Well,
totally
Bono throws
happens.
everyone
Bono-
off, so that's fair.
That's totally what happens. Bono gets hit by a car. He's in the hospital. He gets hit by a bolt of red lightning, and then all of a sudden he's Mephisto.
Bono is dead. Okay, that's what he's been trying to say. This was a call for help.
Because that was necessary.
Yeah.
Well, the man was dead. He was trying to call out for help before Mephisto took over his body. It's the Mephisto.
I'm reading the music video entry on Wikipedia.
Oh,
It says here at one point, you two are seen walking down the street when Bono has run over a car driven by Elvis. That feels like a Bono choice to put Elvis in there for no reason.
Of course it is. He's was obsessed with Elvis. I figured this was beyond his Elvis obsession days when that was his thing.
I don't
around
think he
Rattle 'em
ever
Home.
left his Elvis obsession days.
Nope.
That's the man. That's the man who invented rock and roll.
Could we put Elvis in there somewhere? Elvis, the warrior.
The warrior.
It's one of those things. It's like,
the
hey, car, come back. You didn't finish the job. Come back. Run over the bastard again.
Oh, hold on. I missed this part, and I must read it. The video ends with an orchestra of Batmen playing the outro on strings. Then a shot from above of Mephisto repeatedly transforming into Batman and Mephisto alternately.
Oh my god, I remember that. Because like when the strings started getting like a little bit higher, you just see like the animated version just like rip. It's like, when you're younger, it's like I was more enamored like with the orchestral part, but I actually went and found like the music video not too long ago. It's like whatever was put in Bono's water. I normally I am the type of person that certain things shouldn't be regulated. No, that should be regulated heavily. No one needs to ingest whatever Bono was ingesting during that time. Mm-mm. No.
Well, I think that's perfectly reasonable. I don't think people often take, what if Bono had some of this into consideration when they're talking about those sort of things.
Either way, just
there,
no.
There needs to be legislation in Congress that it's all legal except for Bono.
No, I like that. It's like just a full-on legislative push to ban Bono. Vote for me, I'll ban him.
Call to order the first meeting of the No Bonos Club. The hell, you got Sonny Bono here? Or no, he's dead.
It says
no, he's fine posthumously.
You guys let Bono Glumpilch in.
We still have standards. You're not allowed.
Yolk. Let's move on to track number 2, shall we?
Yeah.
Here's track number 2. PJ Harvey, One Time Too Many. I mean, what's to be said about this? It's PJ Harvey, and PJ Harvey kind of rules.
Every time I hear a PJ Harvey song, I'm like, this is very good. And like every time I've put on a PJ Harvey album, I'm like, this is a very good album. But I don't listen to her nearly enough, and I can't give you a good reason why. So I think I'm going to listen to her after this.
I mean,
This is a very good song.
yeah.
Gonna inspire a discography dive in you, Pat?
Yeah, I did one a few years ago, and for some reason I got lost around the 2000s and kind of like lost interest. But I got to get back into it because I know some of her more recent ones are good too.
This one was not exclusive to the Batman Forever soundtrack. This originally appeared on her 1995 album, The B-Sides. And that's pretty much all I had to say about it. It's very hard to like, offer like deep criticism for PJ Harvey just because so much of it is just so good.
Right. Yeah. Because when I was listening to the soundtrack, in preparation for this at work, I found myself just like, oh wait, this is, and I looked, it's like, yo, okay, no wonder I'm enjoying it. It's PJ Harvey. Okay, let's go. Like zero criticism.
Fucking full speed ahead.
Right. Until a couple other things, but we'll get to that.
A couple other things you say.
Yes.
Somehow I already have an idea of what those things might be.
Oh yes. You will hear about it.
Not to give too much away, but I personally am of the opinion that this soundtrack is very top heavy.
Yeah, that's how I felt too.
In terms of sequencing.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to track
for sure.
Yeah. Let's move on to track number 3, titled "Where Are You Now" by Brandy.
Are you in another place or behind another face? Where are you now? Are you just a middle case? Or did you just slip into an empty space? Where are you?
Once again, 90s.
Very good.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that bass line. Yeah, that's a good track. Good.
Produced by Lenny Kravitz, I'm just learning, looking
Really?
at it on Genius.
Nice.
I could see that. Yeah, it's got that proto neo soul feel to it.
Yeah, I did get huge neo soul vibes from it, and like that didn't really take off as a genre until probably. Actually, wait, no, this was like 95. It probably would have only been like maybe a few years away.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Good stuff.
Yeah, no, zero complaints because Brandy was that woman at that time. So I'm thinking, just as an off thought, if they didn't get Brandy, Monica probably would have been like the next person up to be on that soundtrack, which I wouldn't have minded either.
I wasn't like super like cognizant of 90s R&B probably during that time. I don't think I'd really developed my own musical tastes, but I definitely remember like both names Brandy and Monica being thrown around in the same sentence a lot.
Well, yeah, they did. They also did a song together too. What is it? The Boy Is Mine. Yeah,
I definitely remember that song.
Mostly because of the fact that there's a part in the music video. I think they had like a sidekick phone or whatever. And to this day, no one has explained how somebody was able to send text messages in Microsoft Excel.
Oh wait, that was the video?
I think
that was the video that the meme is from?
That's what I think. Don't.
Oh my gosh.
Don't hold me to that. But that was like one particular thing that stuck in my head. Is like no one was able to explain how you were able to send text messages in Excel. We know that was Excel. What is wrong with you?
That was Google Sheets. We had a very early beta version of it. It was, pure editing.
I could just imagine, like, trying to send a text, trying to, like, just write something down, and all of a sudden it's like the whatever equations that you need to make that work, it just breaks the entire phone.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, one wrong move with that, since it's Excel, and like the whole thing will just explode.
Just just bricked
I
my
just
phone.
I just pressed down on one cell, and now it's just been replaced with a whole bunch of asterisks and question marks.
Oh, okay. You know what? I don't. Actually, no. Just leave that part in. I was wrong. I was immediately thinking. I thought of another person, which is also peak '90s. Kelly Rowland. It was a video that she did with Nelly where that came up.
Okay.
Right, but still,
Fair
that's
enough.
still peak '90s though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's still an
But
incredible
it upset
conceit.
me.
Okay. After that, we got track number 4. In my opinion, the crown jewel of this whole affair. I mean, like, this song I feel like has transcended the Batman Forever soundtrack. It's pretty much my favorite pop song of all time. It's Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
Baby, I can pay you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave.
10 out of 10.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Italian chef's hands.
Just
Yeah, that's a classy tune. Just a super classy pop tune. And like interesting too. Yeah, there's some interesting twists. with
Produced
some of, like, the
by
modal quality.
produced by Trevor Horn. I just found out.
Huh.
okay.
That makes
You're
sense.
You're familiar with that guy, Pat?
Yeah, that's the guy from the Buggles, and then briefly in Yes too. But then he went on to be a producer for a bunch of '80s big shots, big boys. What do you do? ABC. Frankie Goes to Hollywood was kind of the big one too that he produced.
He did, according to
Relax.
Wikipedia, he did like Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Malcolm McLaren, ABC, and a band called Dollar.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, with oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead first.
No. Going back to the one thing I was talking about with was it music videos, of that time, splicing in like movie parts. This to me is actually one of the more perfect applications of that, because the scenes that were chosen actually reflected better along with that song. Because because when you immediately think about it, it's like even just him singing, shirt open next to the bat signal, that's iconic right there. If you don't remember anything else about the video, you'll remember that part.
Yeah, it's right there on the cover of the soundtrack single when you look it up on Wikipedia.
That too, but it's just
Yeah, that was like a pretty well executed video. I remember like it has like the very '90s soft focus filter over it, but like they did it over the whole video, so like I don't know, it all kind of like was cohesive in like a
Right.
good aesthetic way,
Yeah,
as
'cause-
stated as it was. Like I don't know, I respect.
Yeah, because
whoever
I
did
guess
that.
like the whole soft focus thing, it's this is just like my interpretation, but also I think it kind of like tracks with how like certain shows are. It's like the soft focus definitely is supposed to lighten how the viewers is interpreting everything. So like
Yep.
something like softer, like a like a nice like rosier kind of view as to what you're dealing with. It's not like you can immediately show like, oh no, this is look, there's these people in love. You're supposed to have your be empathetic to that. So that's why camera tricks. So
Yep.
it helps.
Yep, for sure.
If I had to like venture a guess even further, I would say like the fact that this is a very sort of introspective and brooding sort of song probably fit the tone a lot better for the amount of scenes very similar to that there were in Batman Forever. Because that, like, Joel Schumacher was still kind of like holding on to that a little bit before going completely clown show in Batman and Robin. Like that, this wouldn't have worked with Batman and Robin at all.
No. See, now you made me remember that one. Ooh.
They got Smashing Pumpkins for that instead.
Batman.
Oh god. No, I remember they
No,
did.
that-
There were two songs that they did. Like the more like high energy, the end is the beginning is the end, and then like they reverse that the beginning is the end. It's like the longer, like more drawn out dirge thing at the end. It's like, Billy, what are you on? What are you? The only reason I remember like the higher energy one, I actually remembered like practicing like how to do the drumming for that. But
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like if a song interests me enough, I'll actually try to figure out how to play it. And if it meant tuning out Billy Corgan's voice, I did it.
So here's something. Here's some more interesting like trivia for you from the background section. "Kiss from a Rose" was originally written in 1987, many years prior to the release of Seal's eponymous debut album in 1991. After writing the song, Seal felt embarrassed by it and threw the tape in the corner. Seal did not present it to producer Trevor Horn until the recording sessions for Seal 2. In 2015, Seal said of the song, "To be honest, I was never really proud of it, though I like what Trevor did with the recording. He turned that tape from my corner into another 8 million record sales, and my name became a household name."
Interesting. That's always interesting to hear like a song go through like that length of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, initially it wasn't like a big, chart-topping hit when it came out. It only, it had fallen directly out of the charts right before Joel Schumacher called Seal up and asked to use the song to play over a love scene, and then, boom, all the way back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that
way
makes
to go.
sense.
Yeah.
Way to go for that.
The one thing he did good. Good job, Joel. No, I don't mean it. I'm taking that back.
I mean, he did direct Lost Boys and Phone Booth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did the original have that like orchestration over it too? Was it like the same?
I'm not sure. It doesn't say here.
But, wow. I didn't know it was, that song was done that long ago. It's always interesting to hear, like little background stuff like that. Because if you told me that song was specifically made for that soundtrack, I would have believed you easily.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see what ends up like on the cutting room floor at first.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to track number 5?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Track number 5, Massive Attack, featuring Tracy Thorn, doing a cover of "Hunter Gets Captured by the Game."
What's this whole world coming to? Things just ain't the same. Anytime the hunter gets captured by the game.
Originally a song written by Smokey Robinson in 1966. A big hit single for the American girl group The Marvelettes for the Motown label in 1967. And Grace Jones remade the song to minor success in 1980.
Jeez.
So that's all pretty neat.
Cool. The whole song has a pedigree. Jeez.
Yeah, there's quite a few like just random covers with pedigrees. Now that I think about it, forthcoming on this soundtrack. Because later you got a Damned cover and a Iggy Pop cover of questionable quality.
Everything But the Girl.
Yeah,
That was the
Tracy
group.
Thorn, she of Everything But the Girl, an electronic group that I've heard is really good and I know nothing about.
That's the thing. It's like I've heard of them, but it's if somebody said like name their discography or it's gonna go bad for you, things are gonna go bad for me.
Oh, jeez. What situation is that?
I don't know.
Where things go bad for you if you don't know this one 90s electronic group.
People who are weirdos about music, like it's like, oh, you know that band. Name all their iterations, including people that left the band. Please go touch some grass. Leave me alone.
I was saying they have a very insufferable fan base.
Yes,
probably.
It's the name 3 songs on that shirt, on that band shirt you're wearing. Sort of ordeal.
Yep.
And this is Everything But the Girl fans are like this?
Well, subtract that and just put, mostly anybody. I mean,
just anyone in general.
Look, like considering the scene, like Will and I are in, we know, we know.
And of course, by anybody you mean Tool, of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, for anyone listening who ever gets hit with that, I've got the perfect answer for you. Name 3 songs by the band on the thing. Okay, the demo, the live version, the alternate take.
Oh.
Bye.
That's evil.
Here's track number 6, Nobody Lives Without Love by Eddie Reader.
Nobody lives without love. Nobody gets to give up. You can try to lock your heart away.
I had no idea who Eddie Reader was until this soundtrack. And at this point, I'm still not really sure who she is. She's a Scottish singer-songwriter known for her work as the frontwoman of Fairground Attraction, another band I've never heard of, and for an enduring solo career. I'm sure she's huge over in her native UK, but over here, I guess it just didn't click.
Oh, I'm just surprised at where she was pulled from. I guess I'm wondering if she had a fan doing a soundtrack design or something like that. I was trying to see here what she's doing around this same time.
Yeah, there's some interesting obscure cuts on this soundtrack. Ostensibly, that's supposed to be more pop, in the words of producer Peter McGregor Scott.
Still,
but yeah.
Then you've got sure, Seal and U2 and Brandy were pretty big by then, and then you just immediately hit with Massive Attack and Eddie Reader from out of nowhere.
Yeah, just when I was listening to that, I definitely had to make sure I was doing something more active because no disrespect to Eddie, I'm sure she's fantastic, but for some reason listening to that put me in the mind of being either in an elevator and hearing that, or I'm at a dentist's office and that's the song that you would hear as soon as you go under from nitrous oxide.
It is a very sleepy song, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know so much about dentist office. I've never been in a dentist office that's that cool.
And no, but 9 times out of 10 it's just the no lyrics stuff, but just the actual music itself is just it does put you in
ambient elements.
Right, because you can easily just put yourself in mind of going up.
It makes
elevator.
Kind of makes it sound like a meditation video or something.
Right, just straight up elevator music. Again, no slander to her. I don't want tens of fives of Eddie's fans coming after me, but yeah. Look, I don't know how numbers work.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty mediocre mid '90s pop, maybe a little more UK inflected. 'Cause it's not like grungy. It's kind of more dream poppy. Yeah, I mean this was kind of the moment on the album where I think we're hitting the lull.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there's a little bit of that with The Hunter Gets Captured by the Game, but I kind of powered through that because I like Massive Attack so much.
Yeah.
But after this point, the excitement I'm not going to say the songs get worse necessarily, except for one specific instance. but the excitement kind of dwindles from there, over time.
Yeah, that's another thing that just generally frustrates me about certain soundtracks and everything. You would have to generally be cognizant of how you want the album itself to flow, because
I mean it's a compilation of songs, but in the end it's still an album.
Right.
You should pay some attention to the sequencing.
Oh, definitely. It's I get that you want to start out immediately with something that's quasi high energy to draw people in, but if you just go full on high energy and then you have that midpoint, which would be Massive Attack and Eddie Reader, and then it just goes downhill. It's who got you this job? They need to be fired, and also you. No. Just be cognizant of things. You shouldn't be allowed to do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a musical film or anything like that where there's a set order that if you remove it from that order, it doesn't make any sense because it happens chronologically in the film. That's not the case with certainly not this soundtrack and certainly not with other soundtracks of this ilk.
Nope.
What do you think this is? Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band, the movie? I don't know.
I most certainly do not think it's that, Pat.
Asked and answered.
There's not nearly enough Begus going heavy.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, they should have just done the whole soundtrack to this movie.
Well,
we're getting who? The who G's? The Fugees? No, the Bee Gees. Close. Not close at all. The Fugees are quite popular right now. The Bee Gees have not been.
That would make
heard
sense,
of
but no, it's not the Fugees.
No, it's the Bee Gees. These guys who we haven't heard from in like 15 years, but that's okay. Sure. Let's
Have
give
they
them a go.
done anything recently? Oh,
no, but it's
So
the
what-
Bee Gees.
Islands in the Stream. That was in 1982.
okay, recent. Odessa. That's even further back.
It's like, look,
They
we
did-
can get on this nostalgia wave now.
They did that music video where they're all standing over on the cliff on the mountainside. That was no, we're not hiring the Bee Gees to do this. That's that.
You already hired
Yes.
the Bee Gees, didn't you? Maybe.
Nobody lives without love.
Anyway, let's let the nap time continue with track number 7. That's probably mean. So here's track number. That's probably mean to Mazzy Star.
Yeah.
But here's track number 7. Tell Me Now by Mazzy Star.
Tell me now that there are 3 days in a week. Tell me now to make it so I can speak.
It's Mazzy Star.
Yep, but
Yeah.
listen to them go, shuffling along.
Like, I don't have like a very too much of an opinion on Mazzy Star just because I haven't heard a lot of their music, but what I have heard all sound pretty interchangeable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that's just their sound, then fine. But it's kind of dirgy.
Yeah. Just listening to that, I don't know why. Just you know how you just listen to certain songs, slow down, and you kind of immediately just get like a corresponding image in your head. Listening to this put me in the mind of just being at somebody's open mic, and they're on stage,
Oh boy.
and you're sitting there. You want to be polite, but you're just like, maybe I should actually just leave now. But you're still sitting there. Just nobody has the heart to boo them off stage. Just like, let's see where this is going. This isn't going anywhere.
I know that setting very well. Sitting there just like, I'm trying to be polite.
Right.
Oh good. Here comes her boyfriend to read slam poetry next to it.
And that's when you look at the phone. It's like, oh, okay, an emergency happened.
He's wearing a knitted cap and smells like patchouli. This'll be great.
Love this picture of this girl just like, doing her thing, mowing along. Slam! Post I don't know what he would be singing about or slamming about. Slam goes the drum of the squirrel's
Capitalism.
heartbeat of capitalism.
No one will let me bump cigarettes off them anymore.
How now, brown bureaucrat?
Oh no. Oh, this took a turn.
It did. Let's get back on track, sort of. Here's track number 8, The Offspring with Smash It Up, a The Damned cover.
Okay.
I don't even care if I look a mess. Don't wanna be a sucker like all the rest. Smash it up. Smash it up, smash it up. Smash it up. Smash it up, smash it up. Smash it up.
I am of two minds with this. On one hand, I really like The Damned. I really like Smash It Up. And this seems like a perfectly competent, a really competent cover of it. On the other hand, I think this is the point when I realized, hey, I fucking hate Dexter Holland's singing voice. And it's just now hit me.
Oh, jeez.
I never thought to question it until now, but I think I hate the Offspring vocalist's singing voice.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not familiar with the original enough, but they're like kind of the classic punk age, correct?
Yeah, it's not
Damn.
super dissimilar. Just got a bit more of like a, that era sort of punk vibe. So
Yeah.
maybe a little bit slower, a little less moshy necessarily.
Yeah. This sounds like it was recorded the same day that they recorded their album Smash. Like they were just like, oh, we got a little more time left on the tape. All right, let's do this cover real quick. It's like
Yeah,
pretty
after all
much
the
sonically
faster
the
stuff.
same thing.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I have like an absolute like soft spot for Offspring. I honestly do. I'm just gonna get that out of the way. So, but again, this song does not feel like it should be part of this soundtrack at all. It's like the tone is just like completely just, it's here and then just like
Yeah.
way out in left field. Because listening to
Yeah,
that,
now that you mention it, it is kind of sticking out like a sore thumb.
right? If anything, like when I listened to it, the first thing I wanted to do was like, yo, I really want to play Crazy Taxi right now. That's it. This does not like the tone set in that cover does not fit unless if I'm sure if you tried to like press somebody whoever did the arrangement and everything, they'd probably say, oh yeah, blah blah blah. You can attribute it to Two-Face. It's like, no, that's lazy. But if you run that by somebody who won't challenge you on it, okay, that could work. Other than that, no, it has like zero business being on that soundtrack.
Yeah, pretty much. After that, so this is, of course, a 90s soundtrack. And it being the 90s, you know who, of course, is going to show up. That's right,
Okay.
Nick Cave. That's right, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, because it's the 90s. Of course they're going to show up on a
Yeah.
soundtrack.
Pull the Nick
Here's
Cave button.
Here's...
Well, I mean, I do have a button.
Is it a Nick Cave button?
It is now.
All right.
Goes, come on, baby.
That's canonical.
Come on, baby.
Were you just doing Elvis there for a second?
Yeah, Elvis, Nick Cave, same thing.
They are
Somewhere
not.
Bono's smiling. How dare you?
Elvis, the warrior, when he went B-52 bomber. Brr.
Glorious. Absolutely brilliant.
Help.
A voice of a generation right there.
That's from the Elvis. That's from the album. That's from the episode where we did the Elvis album, where it's literally just him bantering on stage for a half hour.
Oh,
It's not. It wasn't good. Anyway, here's track number 9, the aforementioned Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds track. There is a light. I'm not sure what specifically it is about this song, but I couldn't really get that into it, even though I am very much a fan of Nick Cave. Something about this one just feels like way too thickly produced for its own good. But I mean, as far as the
Yeah.
album goes, it does bring the mood back to sort of a more cohesive point after Smash It Up.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is like it does sound like it does fit more in like let's just say like the general atmosphere of like gloomy Gotham City and stuff like that. But it almost feels like a weird kind of bookend because you said it was like it feels like it was heavily produced, so it's like
Yeah.
a mirror to U2's lead in that was heavily produced. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're dark U2. They're shadow U2.
We're the spooky ones today. Blah. Maybe I should start singing like this in my songs. Oh no, for the last time I told you to stop singing like a fucking vampire. It's fucking weird.
no, this is me now.
Called Bonocula. Blah.
This is my new personality.
Elvis the Warrior.
Blood.
You know what I think it is now? I just opened up the genius.com page for There Is a Light, and everything about these lyrics are like peak Nick Cave, like specifically peak that era Nick Cave, in the most stereotypical and frankly really, really just kind of ham-handed way possible.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm not really familiar with a ton of Nick Cave, but the few songs that I have heard, I feel like were a lot more interesting than what we get here. This song, I was looking up to see if it was used on anything else. It was on any of his other albums, and it looks like it was written specifically for this movie. And it kind of feels like that to me. It kind of has this, like, I don't know, like we wrote a song for a movie soundtrack sort of vibe, where it kind of is a little, it's pretentious, but there's not really anything there, if that makes sense. I don't know, it just kind of has this, like,
but that tracks. You know,
this, like, I
pretentiousness.
don't know, it just kind of has this feeling to it that I don't know, is like a little empty to me. And yeah, something about the riff reminds me too much of the U2 song too. So like that same kind of like
there is one thing there.
I don't know.
Oh.
There is one thing there. A whole lot of outdated slang.
Yeah, that too feels like kind of phoned in.
Lots of instances of him calling people daddy-o.
Yeah, phoned in. Just that's what it feels like. I was like, this is kind of corny.
Well,
daddy-o.
It is a Batman movie, so, and considering the type of tone that Schumacher was kind of leaning into, that sadly works.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I would have
wouldn't have thought of
appreciated
that.
more onomatopoeia on his part, like the 60s Batman, where it was like thwack, boom, and like Nick Cave just saying
Kapow.
thwack and boom and kapow.
Actually, I would
Fwa.
pay upwards of like $2 folding just to hear him say kapow with any type of earnest.
Kapow.
No higher
daddy-o.
than $2.
Yeah, don't go crazy.
I know.
Nick Cave will do a lot for $2. Trust me.
You're giving Nick Cave a budget and you're making him stick to it.
Yeah. Maybe 50 cents. That's about it.
Maybe 50. So $2.50 or
Two-
$2 or going down to 50 cents.
Oh no, $2.50. $2.50. Depending on the
Okay.
exchange rate.
That's
Okay.
fair.
Yeah.
Okay. The contract has been drawn up.
Yes. It's on him now.
Balls in your court, Nikki. Come on.
Yeah, come on the podcast and review Love Beach with us, and we'll suss this all out.
You coward.
We want your side of the story. Call in.
No, Pat. Mike loves the coward. Remember?
Oh, right. Yeah, no, burden of proof is on him to prove that he's not a coward. A fucking
Yeah,
coward.
that's going to be a long wait.
we don't necessarily want him to come on the show to prove he's not a coward. Just prove you're not a coward, just in general, and we will judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't promise you anything. We can't promise you
Nope.
that will absolve you. Certainly not.
Nope.
Anyway, here's track number 10, Method Man with The Riddler.
Once again, Mr. Mindbender, 3-time felony offender, demented, brain cemented, mixing the blender, illusion, mass confusion, question mark, clues in what, where, why, who's in.
I mean, sure, it's never a bad time for Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
But this, to me, this
No?
was not it. No.
This wasn't it?
No, I mean, like the music itself, like, you know, him without him rapping, I get the type of tone that they're kind of going with, like the the sultry, like, you know, drums and synths and all that. I get that, but the way like Method Man raps, that doesn't feel like that actually meshes well. And
That's not peak Method Man for you?
no, it does not. It just to me it's like it feels like way too discordant. I get that's what, you know, they called him on the soundtrack and say, hey, can you do something like this? And I don't know if he's trying to, like, you know, try to match the assumed mood, but no, I'm just used to him just being like, you know, a lot more of a storyteller, you know, like more like more jabs, more like a little bit more speed behind it. But yeah, that just kind of felt kind of flat for me.
Fair enough. I mean, this song probably would do a lot better if it wasn't attached to the Batman Forever soundtrack, comparatively speaking.
Maybe.
I mean, or at least if this beat wasn't like stuck to, a Riddler themed song.
Yeah, that could be it. But then again, it's like as much as I love Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang's
it's a good beat.
Yeah, it's good, but that's definitely not suited for him, and I really can't. I can probably think of like maybe one member of Wu-Tang off the top of my head that can probably actually make that work with a little bit more tweaking, and that would be GZA.
That's funny you said that. That was just the person I was thinking in my head too.
Yeah, GZA would actually make that work, and it's not just because I'm partial to like Liquid Swords or whatever, but yeah, I would see him putting in work on that.
It is a very hazy Liquid Swordsy kind of beat.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm pretty Wu-Tang ignorant. I need to get into that, but that's a big discography to get into.
Yeah. Start off with 30 enter the 36 chambers and go from there. And then
that's what I've heard.
You can branch off to like any any member.
That's considered like their best overall record.
Yeah.
It is. Just don't just a favor to me, don't listen to Capadonna. He's absolutely useless without the rest of the members. So personal opinion.
Good to know. No, I trust it.
Fair enough. Here's track number 11. Woof. Track number 11. The Passenger, an Iggy Pop cover by Michael Hutchence of In Excess.
I am a passenger and a ride through the city's backside. See the stars come out of the sky. Yeah, the bright and hollow sky. You know it looks so good tonight.
No.
Pathetic.
No.
Awful.
Absolutely not.
Whatever VST he was using, somebody needs to apologize to it because it did not deserve that level of abuse. Just
yeah, seriously. Emu was all ready to put their name on this, and then they just Alan Smithied themselves at the last minute. Oh no, he totally used a Sound Blaster. Yeah, not Emu. No, fuck Sound Blaster. Those idiots. They're responsible for that.
But yeah, the face I made when I first heard it is like, I know it's like when Will kind of mentioned in passing, is like, yeah, I don't like this song. It's like, okay, it's been a while since I listened to it. Let me listen to it, and just like my face just got like, the corners of my mouth is like, I did not know I could frown that hard. He proved me wrong. And just, I don't know what that is with that weird synth kick though. It's just, I have a feeling I've heard it like used in another soundtrack somewhere, but it's like, it sounds like really tinny, like he decided to, record his vocals and everything else in a dryer, and somebody pushed the dryer down the stairs, and just all you hear is like, it's like, no, everything about that was bad.
It sounds like it's a very digitally recorded sort of thing. It sounds like he recorded it at his house, like a home studio type of deal, and they were like, good enough, I guess. We'll tack it on at the end.
I can guarantee, I have a very distinct feeling that whoever came up with this backing sort of track for Michael Hutchence, that was come up with first before they even decided, hey, this is The Passenger cover now. Because nothing about it screams The Passenger.
No.
In the slightest.
No, yeah, this doesn't sound anything like the original one.
Like they brought Michael Hutchence to the studio to just do something, and then he was just sort of like, hey, this is kind of the same tune as The Passenger. And they're like, really, Mike?
No.
No, I just don't feel like writing new lyrics. Just
I think
take it from this other song and call it a cover.
No, come on, go with me on this. I'm Michael Hutchence. No, we know you're Michael Hutchence. We don't want to go with you on this.
Like, no, that doesn't excuse you. It's like, look, I'm going to do this or I'm going to walk out. They should have just let him walk out. They really.
I'm paying for the sessions, and I say we're doing The Passenger.
It's like, okay, fine, we need the money. Joel's probably not paying for us right now anyway, so. All right, Tin Ear, let's go.
So yeah, this is a terrible song, but I will say it's absolutely appropriate for a song like this to be on the soundtrack for a complete, goose egg like Batman Forever, I would say.
Yeah, that's the only thing it's got going for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's also just an odd time for Michael Hutchence. Like, NXS hadn't had a hit in years at that point.
Yeah, I really think it's like definitely the whole name recognition thing, because it might not matter what a band has been doing for like X amount of time, but as long as you have like that built-in goodwill from hits prior, yeah, it feels like that's allowed to walk, and in some cases it should not.
Did he have anything like resembling a solo career that this might have like come out of, or
no? Both of his, oddly enough, both of his solo albums were released posthumously after he died. So there wasn't much time. It looks like their NXS's last album was 92 or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe he was in the process of trying to build it up, and then it didn't go so well. I mean, I don't know what was going on in his head. Obviously, he was going through some mental health issues that led to his suicide. But I forget how long these guys lasted.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia entry for his first solo album, Michael Hutchence, and the genre is listed as both alternative rock and electronic. So I guess it's up in the air.
Well, yeah.
Oh, wow. So NXS kept going through the 90s, actually, oddly enough. They put out an album that year.
Yeah, 97. So, which that's a surprise to me.
So yeah, Passenger by Michael Hutchence, bad. Do better soundtrack. Well, I can't blame Michael Hutchence. He's dead.
Yeah, it's not on him, but honestly, it's like, yeah, it's somebody's fault. Let's just blame Joel.
Defend himself.
No, just you know what?
Joel Schumacher's also dead, though.
No, he's not escaping judgment.
No, he's not.
But okay.
Let's get the Ouija board. Let's sort this out now.
Wait, he is dead. Holy shit.
I know.
Yeah, he died like last year, I think, or the year before
you're
that.
Right.
Yeah. As much as I was joking.
Very recently. He was in his 80s, I think.
Really?
Yeah, he lived quite a while. He was a lot older than I thought he was. Let me just check on that real quick.
Honestly, I wouldn't.
Joel Schumacher. Ooh. Yep. Aged 80. Died June 22nd, 2020.
Oh, wow. Oof. I wouldn't have known. I would not have known.
Yeah.
Jeez. Wait, he directed Falling Down? Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah, his filmography is pretty much the definition of a mixed bag. For sure.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
Speaking of mixed bags, here's track number 12, The Devlins, Crossing the River.
Good lead-in.
Looking into your eyes, I'm crossing the river to get to you. I'm crossing the river.
So, you know how you were saying earlier when we were doing Nobody Lives Without Love by Eddie Reader, that sort of had kind of vibes of elevator music to you?
Mm-hmm.
This one gives me very big, like, interstitial ads for a public television station sort of vibes.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You're definitely
right.
Like,
can't you just hear them go like, "This is PBS."
Yep.
Thanks for joining the team here at Shaw's Supermarkets. The future looks bright.
Yeah, definitely like a public access station. It's like that's your that's a lead in for somebody. It's like, hi, and welcome to the news at 8:15, something like that.
Still nothing's happened yet since the last time.
But stay tuned, and we'll bring you the news as soon as it happens past 8:15.
So this is awkward. We made a joke earlier about the members being like their last names being Devlin, and sure enough, it's
God.
Colin Devlin, Peter Devlin, and a guy Rickerby, Mark Murray. We're brothers. That's the only way we can make a band here in the UK. You gotta be brothers.
Oh, the joke's been ruined. Wow.
It's all come full circle.
Oh no.
Like these guys.
At least the Devlins gave us that.
At least.
Thank you, Colin.
In all honesty, I do think it's kind of a catchy song, but at the same time, like it's just very boring in a lot of places too.
Yeah.
It's like very
Dishwalla-y.
it's very late career Moby to me.
Oh.
Woof.
Yeah.
I mean, I genuinely like a lot of Moby songs. There are a lot of songs I think are a bop, but jeez. That's just my general opinion when it comes to Moby. I like Moby, but jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, that honestly tracks.
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, though, the Devlins have never tried to claim that they were boyfriend and girlfriend with Natalie Portman, though.
No,
So they
they
got
never
that
tried
going
to
for
shoot
them.
their shot. No, they're humble. They're humble,
Yeah.
Devlin.
Jeez.
Got a
Oh,
wife
those
and a family at home, for fuck's sake. Can't be messing
those
around with
humble
Natalie
Devlins.
Portman. A family man.
Jesus.
Who's that coming up the street? It's those humble Devlins. Oh, they're quite good.
That's good Sir Devlin.
This episode has had a lot more phony Irish accents than usual.
But
Well.
who knew?
It is March.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
thinking
there we
that,
go.
so not opposed to it. I mean, it fits in its own way.
Sláinte.
All right,
Sláinte.
here's track number 13. Sunny Day Real Estate with 8.
Okay.
Sunny Day Real Estate, supposedly a band that influenced the invention of emo music back in the 90s.
Yeah. They have an interesting pedigree, I think.
Yeah, they're a band that I have constantly heard from a lot of other people in like local bands that I'm friends with who have told me like Sunny Day Real Estate are an enormous deal and you should really be into them. And I just can't get on board with it for some reason.
Yeah, they
influenced a certain genre, well, emo for sure, but like they kind of fall in. They're interesting category because they was it the Rites of Spring. A few of the members were a part of. I don't know if I'm mixing that up with Fugazi or not, but like
I don't
kind
know.
of the same deal.
Their bassist went on to be the bassist for Foo Fighters. That's pretty much all I know about.
Yeah, Nate Mendel and one of the other guys, I think, hopped on too. One of the guitar players. I don't know a ton of their material, and that's about it. I don't know. It's like it's okay.
Well, I think
I don't really have anything to say.
I think that's the most we can do for this track. I'll be honest.
yeah.
So there you go, emo friends. We did it. We acknowledged Sunny Day Real Estate for you.
Midwest emo.
Oh.
We have to say that. That's the qualifier, or else the Midwest emo police are gonna cry in our inbox.
Oh yes. God forbid we incur the ire of the emo police.
It's not like they're going to do anything about it anyway.
Glasses wearing, overly sensitive, overly brainy, chiming guitar driven bullshit.
That's telling them.
Yeah.
Insisting to this day that Pinkerton isn't creepy.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
No, those are the people that you need to actually
you're
look out for.
excused, emo police. You're excused, emo police.
Take care of your own. As soon as you
I was
hear
gonna
anybody
say, why
that
don't
says
you
that, yeah.
Look amongst your ranks.
Get the Pinkerton apologists out of here.
And that leads us to the final track, track 14. This album full of, dark, sort of dreary ballads. Why not close it out with The Flaming Lips? Here's Bad Days. this even doing here?
I don't know. I do not know. It's an
Like
odd
the
choice.
the moment I hit that clip, all of like, you know, the guys in like mascot costumes and like rabbit costumes and shit just popped right into my head, and it's like, this isn't Batman.
No,
This isn't Batman in the slightest.
Strange to me is that we just did Cloud's Taste Metallic, the Flaming Lips album on Omniac a few months back, and this song is on it. It's also the last track on that album. I had heard it for the first time when we listened to that album, and I was like, this was on the Batman movie?
the stylistic choice of even putting it on there is weird. I mean, I can theoretically understand as to why they would put that on there to, kind of like button it up and try to like bring up what is, supposed to be, ostensibly be a darker toned soundtrack to at least like lighten it up. But no, this. Okay, have either of you seen the movie Death to Smoochie?
I have. It's really good.
Yes,
I
that
haven't.
song.
I've been meaning to watch it though.
That song feels like it belongs in that movie, not this one.
I can see that. Yeah.
Right,
For sure.
For like the,
That's a good connection.
yeah, with that, the imagery that you're talking about, like people in, like mascot costumes and stuff like that. That would be more of like a, upturn, yay, happy, everything works out, but not on a, absolute mixed bag of a Batman soundtrack.
This, I can only imagine, is the song that would play, like, like the scene is set, like Batman has won once again, but it's a hollow victory. He just stands brooding. No one is there. And then he decides, like, all right, screw it. I'm going to therapy.
We're not that lucky.
And then Bad Days plays over a montage of him getting his life together and living his best life and sharing his wealth and all that sort of stuff. Then it just rolls credits.
That would effectively end the Batman.
See, my
franchise.
thought.
Someone do it.
Oh no! Wait! It wouldn't keep rolling credits into Bad Days.
No.
Like Bad Days would end, he'd just like a single solitary tear would go down his face, and then the credits come in. It's in the way that you use it.
The thing about this song. All right,
Take your time.
We get to the part he says he's going to therapy, and then him and Alfred just like face each other and each take a tab of acid, and that's what this song is.
Okay, yeah, I'm starting to like that version better because I just thought of another thing that this song can actually go with. As Lil kind of knows that I absolutely love anime, and this would actually work in the anime Paranoia Agent. Which is
I'm not familiar with that one.
I'm
not familiar with a lot of anime.
No, it's a Satoshi Kon series. Same person that did God, this should be one that mostly everybody knows. Like Perfect Blue, which was translated into a Darren Aronofsky movie, Black Swan. So
okay, yeah.
So same.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so kind of like the same thing, but Satoshi Kon does like a lot of like psychological type stuff. So if you ever get a chance, just like read the synopsis of it, and if for some reason you feel the urge or have like time to waste, give it a shot, and then you can probably like put the two and two together, because it's definitely weird and like discordant enough that it would actually make sense. Still doesn't make sense in this soundtrack though, but it would make more sense somewhere else.
Yeah, literally anywhere else but on the Batman Forever soundtrack.
Yeah, I feel like we could say the same thing for a lot of the songs that we just talked about.
Definitely.
I actually liked this song a lot, Bad Days, when we listened to it on Omniac. I think I might have picked that as my favorite.
Oh, yeah?
But yeah, I mean, it's such an odd choice. The only thing that I think that kind of ties it to a soundtrack type thing is that there's a trumpet in the beginning. It's like, oh, let's put a bow tie on this thing. Let's get a trumpet in here.
Yeah, let's button it up
for the movies.
Let's send the viewer off with a better renewed sense of tomorrow. Remind them that they've only seen this once and they don't have to see it again. That's all I have on it.
Wayne Coyne just turns to Stephen Droz and is just like, we're gonna be in the big times now. We're gonna be big shot movie stars. We're gonna be in the movies. Don't you want to be in the movie? Let's get a trumpet player. Then that's when Stephen Drost quit.
It's like, all right, I've had enough.
Yeah.
I'm Stephen Drozd, I've had my fill.
I have had my fill. You get your. I'm taking my pink robots and going.
Good day, sir.
Home.
I said good day.
You can have Christmas and Mars all on your lonesome.
With a little help from my friends.
And that brings us to the end of the record.
Where's that goddamn button?
It feels a bit weird to, like, question whether this is a worst of all time record, being that it's a soundtrack, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you think this is a worst record of all time, Patrick?
No, because, I mean, this record did kind of inspire a few pretty cool songs. I'm shocked to hear that Kiss from a Rose wasn't written for this movie, and also disappointed because it means I can't give it the credit that it really deserves because it's such a great song. And, you know, but the Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me song is like a pretty decent U2 track. There's, you know, like the Brandy track is pretty good. There's a couple songs on here made specifically for the movie that I think are pretty good. So it's not a failure. AllMusic gives it a 3 out of 5. I think that's fair. That's what I would give it.
Same question for you, Danesha. Do you think this is a worst of all time record?
Oh, God. You know what? No. I mean, I don't like how it's we're supposed to suspend disbelief and believe it's supposed to be a generally cohesive album. But, yeah, I mean, there are like a couple like bright spots, you know, here and there, like, you know, overly produced U2, you know, Seal. I mean, I do have a, you know, the soft spot for like Massive Attack and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely not the worst, but it also can be good because it brings people together and just absolutely ragging on songs that don't belong. So that is a point of unity there. So.
We have it to thank for that, at least.
At least, I mean, it's done something with its checkered past, so to speak. So I give it like 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I don't consider it a worst of all time record too. I would say that it's probably a little too shaky to be called a good record necessarily. So I pretty much exclusively consider this to be a Kiss from a Rose by Seal delivery service.
Okay. I mean, that's
Kiss from a Rose delivery service. Before
apps were invented.
It's like, here, you get one. Oh, actually, you know what? That actually does make sense. It's like, you know how, well, okay, the way things are now with music, you can just buy like separate tracks. So it does put me in the mind of like, you know, how it was like way back when. It's like, okay, you like this one song. Oh, surely the rest of it's going to be good. Nope. You are stuck with the rest of that like absolutely mid soundtrack as long as you can hear that one song. Maybe two. Excellent. You might be lucky, but no. If you're stuck with the rest of that mid soundtrack, I am so sorry.
Hope it was worth it. Now you get Nick Cave saying "Daddy-O" a whole bunch.
Ugh. Found it.
Found it. What would you say is the best or least bad track on this record, Pat?
Sorry, my mind is being blown here a little bit. Actually, first question I would like to ask before I answer the question. RZA, you said, was the producer of this soundtrack?
Yes,
so, like,
according to Wikipedia.
What do you think that means? Like, he was just responsible for overseeing the like sequencing of the songs. So I know like Trevor Horn produced, you know, some of these tracks. Or I would
assume.
So is he to blame? Is
maybe
RZA the one that we blame?
Maybe there was some curating involved.
Yeah, like he's the one who curated this. Okay, so he's the one to point the finger at then,
right,
for this ridiculous affair.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of like the general timeline, like in regards to like how Wu-Tang was, because you know they did have like a lot of albums where it was just them as a group, but you know, most of the group pretty much kind of like stuck together even after like ODB passed away. But, you know, RZA started to, like, you know, drift off and, you know, pretty much become Hollywood RZA. So
Yeah.
again, I can appreciate like he is like really skilled with like music and producing and everything, but I'm not gonna say like the guy is infallible. I mean, there was a really terrible movie that came out a while ago where he starred. Was it Man with the Golden Fist? And he did the soundtrack for that. It's like, RZA, no, stop, just go back to doing other things. That's not this. Chief, this ain't it at all. So yeah, no. That's the thing. I think RZA in this particular case, struck out. Like Wu-Tang's not without their huge misses. Like, okay, if you ever get a chance, look up the song "Gravel Pit" by Wu-Tang. It's such a massive disconnect from what they've done. It's just like,
oh, I love that. Yeah, that's a great song. That's one of the few that I know.
All right, you don't know much about Wu-Tang, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Oh no.
we have a Donnybrook brewing.
Oh, did I? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My favorite track is
more Irish.
That's a Donnybrook. But yeah, I'm just putting it down.
I mean, whatever the thing is that doesn't make me look stupid. My favorite on this probably is going to go to toss up between the Flaming Lips song and the PJ Harvey song. Yeah, the One Time Too Many, I think, was just such a delightful tune from doing what PJ does best.
Yeah, that's true. It is a very solid outing from PJ Harvey.
Yeah.
Same question for you, Danesha. What do you think is the best or least bad song on this record?
It's like, I'm just gonna say this now. It's like, to me, Seal is automatically kind of disqualified from this question because that song is outstanding on its own. We know it's top tier, so I'm not going to mention that. But I would definitely say, I would definitely go with PJ Harvey, and just for like a nostalgia thing, as much as I cannot stand Bono and the overproducing, the U2 song, because that was like one of my first times hearing like the whole orchestral arrangement thing, and like I said, I am an absolute mark for things like that, but just on the nostalgia standpoint. But quality, PJ Harvey.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because now I'm starting to think, because like my pick was just immediately going to be Kiss from a Rose right out the back, but now I'm starting to get into my head, what's my pick if I'm not permitted to pick Kiss from a Rose, just because that song has just transcended everything. And with that in mind, I think I would have to also go One Time Too Many by PJ Harvey.
Yeah.
Friggin' solid outing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now, Pat, what would you say is the worst track on this record?
I have a feeling we're going to be in the whole hand-holding club here. But that Michael Hutchence Iggy Pop cover is pretty bad. Pretty poopy. Pretty poopy. If I had to pick a second, it would be the Nick Cave song. It just wasn't very good.
Same question for you, Danesha. Worst song on the record?
Again, keeping in mind that he is not here to give an account of himself, I am going to say, Michael Hutchence's cover of The Passenger. But my follow-up one is, was it Method Man's song? It's just like, again, that, to me, that just does not feel like, that's not his particular brand at all. It's like, that's not his beat. That's not his, like, he has done like slower songs or whatever, but that is, to me, that feels like a complete and total disconnect.
It's not Method Man at the top of his game.
Correct.
I also, of course, picked The Passenger as my worst, but since we're all, giving that same credence to Michael Hutchence, if I wasn't allowed to pick The Passenger, I would also, I'm gonna give my second choice to Smash It Up, The Offspring's cover of The Dam. That one, I did not have fun with that at all.
Okay, that's
not gonna smash nothing up. No.
I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna build shit.
Yep, just get on your cask of Amontillado and just seal it up. Nobody needs to hear that.
So what's really funny about Smash It Up, there's an article here that's referenced on the Smash It Up Wikipedia page. The Damned
wait.
smashed it up.
Smash It Up Wikipedia page? Oh, the
Yeah,
page
there's a
for the song.
Wikipedia
The page for
article.
the song. Okay,
Oh,
Yeah,
I
for the
misheard
song.
you entirely. I thought there was a whole wiki. I thought there was a whole wiki for Smash It Up.
That sounds like, wait a
That's
minute,
all.
who has that
All
kind
the
of time?
various covers.
There can't be that much to say about that one song.
Well, here's an article here from Uncut. The Damned smash it up. It's about frothy lager. Hardly a call to revolution. The band explained
Okay.
how they made their two-part power pop hit. So apparently it's
That's
about
nice. Okay, good job, Dave.
beer. That's Captain Sensible to you.
For some,
That's
No,
really
there's
the
also a
dude's
Dave.
name.
No, they've got a Dave in there too.
Hey, it's me, Dave from the Damned.
for some reason, I want to hear Caustic cover this though. I don't know why.
Smash It Up.
Yeah,
Ooh, that'd be a good one for Caustic to cover.
yeah, it honestly would.
Oh man, thank you very much for being on this episode, Danesha.
No
This was a
problem.
lot of fun.
It was.
Do you have
no, this
anything
is
that?
delightful. Thank you.
Oh,
Do you have
wow.
anything you want to plug before we wrap things up?
Let's see. I'm doing a lot of things, which I never thought I'd be able to say that. But okay, I have one of those card.co accounts, so you can find me at DaneshaArtis.carrd.co. Name is spelled DANESHARTIS. So there'll be like a full list of stuff that I do. I mentioned like the whole writing thing. I stream on Twitch. Mostly I play like fighting games, very very weird RPGs like Killer 7, which you know
Love
about.
Killer 7.
Yeah, I can go on about that for days. And I also do some art, so my art Instagram's on there
Nice.
too. So
Very cool.
Very nice. You want to plug something, Pat?
Not this time.
No.
Nah.
I've got a new Fatigue single out titled "The Fall" (Pierce Me). Go check that out on all that Bandcamp stuff. But otherwise, go check out the other Zero Science podcasts like Old Men Yell at Cloud, Hell is a Musical, Clamshell Case Files, and all the other ones too. Because that's where you can find
Fishing for
podcasts.
compliments. My new fishing
Yes,
program.
the inevitable pilot for Fishing for Compliments.
this is just a lead-in.
And then
Yes.
compliments for fish, which is the
This is the
cooking
prequel.
program.
And this is the prequel to the Fishing for Compliments verse.
Yeah.
There's also a hidden wine pairing. We haven't told you about that yet. We're working on that.
Yes. Yes, there's going to be a whole alternate reality game too.
A lot of fish programs in general just kind of coming up. We're trying to reach a fishier demographic and just really try to lock in some of those fish votes.
VR game soon come.
Yeah. The fish dollar is getting stronger every day. Big buying power from that community, and we gotta squeeze
Yeah.
them for everything they're worth.
So yeah,
Freeloaders.
find that now, download it now, buy it with your fish coin.
Fish coin, yeah.
Our theme song is Sunny Day by the band Froggy and the Friendship. You can check them out at froggyandthefriendship.bandcamp.com. If you have an album you'd like to suggest for us to review or would just like to leave us some feedback or a comment, email us at jukeboxzerospodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/jukeboxzerospodcast or on Twitter at twitter.com/jukeboxzeros. You can find us, rate us, review us, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon Music, or check out our archives on the Zero Science main page. Jukebox Zeros is a production of the Zero Science Network. For more great podcasts, go check out zero-science.com. And that about does it for this episode of Jukebox Zeros. I'm Lils.
And then Patrick.
And remember,
This is where you would insert a sound that is funny.
there's a button.
Yes.
There we go. Perfect.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
silence.